Itchy. Okay. We're good? We're good. What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a highly requested video. I'm not sure why it's highly requested because this is 2015. As you read when you clicked on this video, it's going to be all about my ears, my tunnels. They're not tunnels, plugs, ears, stretches, I don't fucking care. I just call them my ears. It's 2015, everyone's made a video like this. I'm sure you can find the information elsewhere, but if you're curious to what I have done, you can know now. It's not exciting or anything, just like no one else's will be unless they like ripped it in half. That might be a bit, that's what people wanted. Also, the lighting's a bit shit because normally I have the curtains open but the sun's right there and it leaves blind lines across me. So there's a curtain and a blind, and colour correction will sort that out, right? So I wrote down all these thingamajigs. Also my hair, I took my weave out. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, kind of like it, bleached it like high ombre. We'll see, got something in my eye. Okay, all about my ears. I had my ears pierced for 3 years, I think. Yeah, 3 years before I put anything in. I got them pierced when I was 9 and I stretched them at 12. I got my ears pierced with a gun, I know, say you will. My mum took me, she wouldn't know any better. I wouldn't know any better, I was fucking 9 years old. And I stretched them when I was 12 for the first time. I just got them pierced at Claire's. Yeah, you don't have to warn me, can't change what happened. It was over 10 years ago. Get over it. I wouldn't do it again, nor take my hypothetical child there, nor have them get it done with a gun. I'm gonna move this camera a bit down because I feel very high up. Is this angle better? Is it? I can't tell. Before, something that is probably important to mention, before I put my first taper in or anything, I actually had a fake stretcher, and since it needed, like, what are they called? Threads on them, so you could screw the end on. It was just like an ear piercing. It was like plate piercing, I'm sure you've seen them. There's some Top Man, I think. And you screw them on. So it had threads on the metal bar, meaning it was a little bigger than a normal earring. So that probably helped before. Okay, so what other interruptions do we want today? Because my landlord just came round to read the meter. So bearing in mind, before I ever put a taper in, I had something bigger than an earring. This was so long ago. This is like 10 years ago, so it's really hard to remember the sizes. Sorry, looks like it's gonna rain. I wanted to go to the shops. But I think it was 2 millimeter taper. I don't still have it. Why would I? And I just put that straight in. No problem. Walked out the shop and bloody did it in front of all my cool friends. Yeah, like a year after that day, I went to Argos. I can't believe I'm saying this. This was so long ago and it was really hard to get a hold of these things. Couldn't fucking go on eBay at the time. Well, I couldn't. I didn't have internet at home. So I went to Argos and they did like a stretching beginner's kit, and it had like a 2 millimeter, I think a 3 millimeter, and then a 3 millimeter tunnel. And I used that. It was, the 2 millimeter was just a plastic one. I couldn't even find photos of this. I really wish I could. 3 millimeter was stainless steel and the tunnel was stainless steel, and like the hole in it was smaller than a pin. From then, I don't think I did anything for a long time because I wasn't allowed to, and I hid that from my mum. Don't do that, stupid idea. But yeah, I hid all that from my mum. I didn't do anything for ages. When I was like 14 and I'd shown her that it can go back and all this, like if you go to a certain size, I was like, please can I go to 10 millimeter? It might have been 8. She agreed to, and she agreed. I was 14 at the time. I started going up to that. So I started buying tapers, putting tapers through, then putting a tunnel through. Exactly how you meant to. Taper through your ear. This is nice. Tape through your ear, then put a tunnel at the end and pull it out the back, and just stretched up like that. I left 4 weeks between every single one. I think 4 weeks, maybe more, depends if I could afford the tapers at the time. So I had to go to this really weird goth shop in town that's not there anymore, not this town either. It doesn't exist anymore. It was called Bijou. And I remember I always bought the red ones because they were the coolest ones. Then when I got to 8 millimeters, I had a silicone black tunnel for fucking ages. I always had just one. That's another thing to mention, I only did one ear for a long time. I had a black silicone tunnel and you could see through it, it was 8 millimeters. Then I started wearing silicons. Just, they never bothered my ears. I was buying quite good quality ones at the time, and this shop wasn't very cheap as well, which made it harder to stretch up. But no, I always wore that, and I remember because I'd sit in school going like this and make a poppy noise. Probably not good for your ears, but whatever, I was a kid. Then I went up to 16mm. Sorry mum, without telling her. I just taped. I used the taping method for a while with bondage tape. I think at 14 to 16 I actually went up just with the silicone, which is so bad for your ears, and don't do it. Nothing went wrong with mine, but that doesn't mean you should do it. I was just naive. I got them both up to 16. They were both blue or black silicone tunnels, and I was kind of happy with that. I didn't want anything else. And they were comfortable, there was nothing wrong, I never had a blowout, never had an infection or tearing or anything. I really did look after them. And I used, what's it called? Is it called Holy Rub? I don't know, I'll insert a picture here when I remember what it is, but I used to use that on my ears. I don't think I used anything else. Once I got a scab, but it wasn't infected or anything, and I put Savlon on it. Probably not the best thing to do, but I didn't want it to get infected, so I did. Then, when I was 16 years old, I got a bit sick of him and kind of wanted to see what I looked like without him. And I don't remember why, and I think this was a really short-lived period, but I took them out and they kind of shriveled up a bit. They were 16 or 18mm at the time before I took them out, bear in mind. Oh yeah, so it was 6 months later, I was like at a friend's house, and she had like 10, 12, maybe 12mm ears. And I was like looking at all her jewellery, because I got rid of a lot of mine. I'd given it to friends who were stretching by this point. So I was like, oh, show me all your jewellery, and she had like a spiral taper, and I'd never had one of them. I just didn't like wearing tapers, you're not meant to. Spiral ones do weigh it out alright, so they're fine as far as I'm aware. It's been a long time, don't know that much about them anymore. And I put it in, it was like an 8mm and it went in fine. I bought quite a lot off eBay, and I think I had a job at this point. So I bought loads, and I was like fucking going back. And I think within like a month it was back at like 16, because it just hadn't shrunk a lot. I have very bad healing. I say that, but every night when I go to sleep, if I take these out, the next morning they are really hard to get back in, and I've been wearing these for a very long time. Then from the ages of 16 to 17, I stretched up to 28mm, which is what I'm at now. I haven't changed them. I had some 26 wooden tunnels. I'm gonna just look for them. I found them. Okay, I had these 26mm wooden tunnels. You probably can't see them very well. They're just wood. The word that isn't concave is convex. Convex. They are 20, like convex on the outside, so they go whoop. I always wanted concave ones. But yeah, I wore them for ages, and then like my mate Josh actually bought me these. Oh, and I had 28mm silicone tunnels, but I don't know if these are, it's because they're bad quality, because like I said, I wore silicones constantly from like size 8 to size 18. So maybe these are really bad quality ones, but the other day I was wearing these, because sometimes it's nice to wear not hard ones, like I could sleep in silicone, and they just fucked up my ears. They got all gunky. My ears don't smell. Another thing to mention, they don't smell. Not everyone's, like I assure you some do, but mine didn't ever smell. I think when I was at like 10mm maybe, but then it was fine. They're kind of just like, they heal really fast for me when I stretch them up, but when I tried going down, it just, but yeah, my point was, I was wearing these 28mm silicones. I didn't have any like I didn't have any plugs, I only had these silicone tunnels. So I'd wear the 26 inside them. It was a bit straining, because obviously I probably made it like a 29. But then my friend Josh actually bought me just a pair of the exact same ones, wooden. I think he got them off eBay, probably like £2. Not the best thing, just don't get them wet. They'll warp. You know what wood's like when it gets wet. So I've worn these for 3 years now. I've worn them since the day I got them, like apart from the other while when I tried the silicones out. And I like them, I just do. I think I only suit the big black ones. Big black ones. When I have dark hair, I quite like wearing white ones, but I don't have any anymore. And I always sell buy jewellery, but I just can't afford to, because I can barely afford to eat. Gonna leave them at this size? I can never imagine myself ever stretching up again, or why I would. It probably all in all cost me 30 something pounds, which isn't bad at all. I don't know, and like you could get, as long as you sanitize everything, you could get like tunnels and stuff off your friends. A lot of people sell them on like Depop and Etsy. Handmade plugs. I do have one other set. Beautiful. They're not going to be in here because I want to show you them. No, they're not. But I have just these beautiful like silhouette ones that were handmade off Etsy, and I think they were 10 quid for a set of like 28. Best place to buy it, for me personally. That's probably better points to make. What am I going to do when I don't want them anymore, if I don't want them anymore? I can't imagine I want these forever, but I will get them sewn up. It's becoming a lot bigger now, which you think would mean it's getting more expensive, but it's not, it's getting cheaper because there's so many places that do it. It used to be go to the hospital and get it done. Then it was like, now most piercers can do it, and there's just places that will, like those plastic surgeons, but now piercers do it as well. As piercers do tattoo removal as well now. Yeah, I will just get them stitched up if I don't like them anymore. To be honest, when I don't have them in for like a day, they look so put together that it doesn't actually bother me. But for now, and for the past over 10 years, past like 10-ish years, I've liked them a lot. So I keep looking at them. It's because I have to look in the mirror to look at the viewfinder. It doesn't flip out. I only got a 550D. I don't know if there's any other points I should mention with this, but feel free to ask any questions you want to about them because I'll answer them best I can. Like I said, I'm not an expert, and I haven't really been in the body modification community for years and years, so I hope this was helpful, and send me messages if you need to. And I hope you actually enjoyed the video. Alright, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye! For 6 years. I have a boyfriend called Rob, and I met him at the British Juggling Convention in 2012. I really like murder documentaries.